Taylor Swift going to the hood, baby. It ain't gonna be no lights, camera, and action. It's gonna be.
They gonna open the gates for her. What you talking about?
I don't know. I think they're gonna open that gate to that booth, and she's gonna try to find a nice little safe spot in that little booth area that they're gonna be at. But all that rah rah that she was doing in Buffalo and a Jason Kelsey jumping out the window, that ain't happening.
For the first game at 3 o'clock, KC Chiefs versus Baltimore. Minus 3.5. Total is 45.5, minus 185. The big nugget of this game, or the big news of this game that I just dropped. Mark Andrews is playing in this game. He's cleared to play. How effective he is, who knows, with that ankle injury. But I highly doubt or have any reason of why he wouldn't be a part of this game plan. It's going to be all hands on deck. These teams already played. It was a thriller. It went, was it 36-35? I'm not mistaken. They went for it on fourth down. The infamous Harbaugh looking at Lamar. You want to go for it? You want to go for it? You want to go? And they went. They got it. Great game. Hell of a game. I was in Baltimore too, by the way. Probably similar weather conditions. I think it's going to be a little bit rainy, maybe. Think like 45, 50. I think the last I saw on the weather so far. So should be a fair weather game. Should be a really good game. I'm already on the Chiefs. I said that last week already. So for me, my best bet of the game is the Chiefs. And I think Sharp might allude to this. And, once we get to him is I just think it's Lamar. I'm looking at the quarterback matchup. I love Lamar. I'm rooting for Lamar. We always root for the underdog. But I'm sorry, you're looking at the next dynasty that's coming in the Kansas City Chiefs. From top to bottom, from bottom to up, this organization is well run, and they have the best player in the NFL running the helm, and Patrick Mahomes. 6 conference championships in 6 seasons. That's not by mistake. That's pure given talent and greatness that we're watching. And I have a hard time betting against greatness when I'm getting points. I'm getting points in this game. So give me 3 units on the Kansas City Chiefs. Love them at plus 3.5. I think they probably win the game outright. It wouldn't surprise me if this line drops as we get closer to kickoff and might end up at 2.5. All shout out to Baltimore.
It's looking like it's trending towards 3.5.
It's going to 3.5.
It is at 3.
But
yeah, it ain't going to 2.5. You might be you tripping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you think I'm tripping?
Yeah, you definitely tripping.
Ooh, sorry, Bob. Give me the Chiefs.
You better take that 3.5. Go ahead, take
plus
that
3.5
while you can, and pray for 23-20.
I might sprinkle a little bit on that money line, but give me the Chiefs. The Andrews news does make me wary because he makes this offense a lot different and a lot harder to defend. My only thing is he hasn't played football in a long time. So what his wind is, if he's 100%, my thought is that he could have probably played last week if they really needed him, but they felt they could win last week, and they did against Houston. And they're right where they are, where they need to be, 1 game from the Super Bowl. But I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. So give me the Chiefs plus the 3.5. Since you have something to say about it, Diddy, I'll start with you, man. What you got on this game?
Yeah. The game you said that they seen each other before was 2 totally different teams, and it wasn't this year. And
Yeah,
this Baltimore team is probably historically one of the best Baltimore teams they've had in their existence. Right next to that 2000, what was that 2001 Ravens? Right, Ray Lewis.
You talking about like Ray Lewis and them?
Yeah, this probably mirrors that team defensively.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's that good?
I do. I mean, if you look stats wise, who's that? Who's their linebacker? For some reason, is mistaking me right now.
Who? Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith and Ray Lewis stats are mirror. They're mirror right now within 3 seasons. And
but
I think
Roquan don't scare people like Ray did, bro. Like Ray,
one is a different league, though. It was you're able to hit and really smash people.
Yeah, it's a different league.
If you talk about statistics, they're mirror. I don't think people really realize that. So this is my take on this game. Um, I start with Kansas City. I think
Mhm.
Kansas City has led heavily on their defense this year, which is probably Patrick Mahomes' best defensive team he's had in his
It
career.
just moved to 3.5.
Mm.
See
Um,
that?
I mean,
It
it's still
just
three and a
updated
half.
as you're talking. It's 3.5 right there. So
so
I
they
was
must be
gonna say,
watching
sorry to
live.
cut you off.
They
Sorry to
must be
cut you
listening
off,
to
Diddy.
Diddy.
Sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say, Nate, I didn't really understand your bet at 3, taking the line. Like, I do like the Chiefs money line if you were gonna go that route. But if you like a spread, now that it's 3.5, if you were gonna be on the Chiefs, now the time. I just don't see taking the Chiefs at 3. To me, 3 is a dead number, taking the dog in these kind of games. I just wanted to say that. Sorry, Diddy.
No, you're good. I think you're absolutely right. I probably would have bought the hook if I'm on the Chiefs side, and then I would like you do what you
Right.
said, Nate. Sprinkle some money on the money line if you think they're going to win. Um, Back to the Chiefs. I think this team is offensively is just not as um, uh, powerful and dynamic as the Chiefs have been, even with the best quarterback probably historically to ever play the game in Patrick Mahomes. And I'm saying that just because I think the Ravens defense has prepared and they have the ability to slow down this Chiefs offense. Mirroring kind of like the Eagles last year, they lead the league in sacks this year. I think it's like 60 sacks. And they're not like other teams where they're led by 20 sacks by a TJ Watt or 16 or 15 by a Reddick. They're actually spread across the line defensively, spread out. So they're all getting after the quarterback, which lets me know the scheme and Mike McDaniels and his scheme that Sharp preaches about is very, very, very tough. And I like them. I like them at the linebacker position. I think they can fly around and slow down Travis Kelsey. I believe they only gave up 3 touchdowns to the tight end position all year, so that's going to be a really big impact. And then in the D backs, they're strapped down on the defensive backs. Rashid Rice is not going to see no cornerbacks like he's seen in the Ravens. I think the safety play is going to help out in the tight end position. And where else is the Chiefs going to go to if they're going to not have Rice and they're not going to have Kelsey? Can Patrick have magic? Absolutely. I expect magic, but I think that's going to be kind of balanced with the Lamar factor offensively. And I think getting Mark Andrews is going to be helpful. I think Likely has stepped in and done a tremendous job. I think over the last 6 weeks, he has close to 6 or 7 touchdowns, I want to say. I could be wrong. So he's filled in nicely for Mark Andrews. I think the run game has kind of filled out a little bit with Gus Edwards. Now you add in Cook there to help out. I'm probably going to get some more carries this week. Um, their O line has been tremendous, and then you have the most electrifying quarterback that we've seen since Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson, able to kind
Of
of
all
do his
time.
thing. You're right. I mean, yeah.
Of all time.
You said the whole time of all time.
Of
Of all
all
time.
time. He's a
Of
bigger,
all.
faster version of Mike Vick. I just want to put that to bed. Even Mike Vick has said Lamar's a better athlete than I ever dreamed of being. So he's the
So,
best athlete that's ever played football.
so there we go. So if that's the case, I'm
And
not
it's
going to
not that
argue.
close.
I'm not going to argue that, but I think since we've seen a Michael Vick, I think Lamar Jackson has definitely been the most dynamic quarterback, and he's having an MVP season. I don't see that stopping here at home in Baltimore. I mean, Taylor Swift going to the hood, baby. It ain't gonna be no lights, camera, and action. It's gonna be.
They gonna open the gates for her. What you talking about?
I don't know. I think they're gonna open that gate to that booth, and she's gonna try to find a nice little safe spot in that little booth area that they're gonna be at. But all that rah that she was doing in Buffalo and Jason Kelsey jumping out the window, that ain't happening in Baltimore. Believe that. So for me, I'm taking Baltimore Ravens here. I'm mad I missed that spot of going to 3.5, but I got him in some parlays. I'll probably buy a point to get it down. I think this is going to be a close game. I think the defense is going to stand up. You got the number 1 rated defense on the points and number 2 rated defense in Kansas City Chiefs. So I like a 23-20, maybe 23-17 ish for Baltimore. I like it being low scoring. I will look toward and lean toward the under in this, and there will be some teasers I'll be giving out by the end of the show. Sorry for
Why
the long take.